In this episode, we share our favorite holiday movies and shows that are a must-watch for our family each and every year. Today's December 17th, 2021, and this is episode 418 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and I am joined by my festive wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you haven't done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. If you hit that subscribe button, you'll get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. But if you want even more content, including in-park, resort, at-home live streams, discounts on merchandise, and a whole lot more, visit wonderlandcrew.com and check out our Patreon group. And then finally, if you are getting ready to plan your next Disney, Universal vacation, maybe looking to go on a cruise, or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head to msmears.com to learn more about our wonderful travel partner, Melissa Pilgrim with Ears of Experience, and fill out a form for a free quote. All right, today we are talking all about our favorite holiday movies, not only from Disney and 20th Century Fox, but we're going to discuss some other holiday movies as well, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So to start, Rhonda, real quick, number one question is, what makes a great holiday or Christmas movie to you? Like, are there certain components that you're looking for that ahead of time you can go, all right, if we put these in a movie, I'm going to enjoy it for the holidays?
To me, that's a hard question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I start naming things, we're already getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
like
but
if I name a movie.
Okay, let's just say, does it have to do with family? Does it have to do with the setting? Does it have to have snow? Does it have to involve romance, comedy?
All the above.
Things like that. Okay, so all of those usually nostalgia maybe.
Yeah.
You know, something that makes you think of Christmases and all that you grew up with. That can, I think, lead us into, if we don't talk about this, I think people will riot. And that is Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yes, absolutely.
What makes a good, let's start there then. What makes a good Hallmark Christmas movie? Because they're not all great. They're all good. Let's be honest.
They're all good.
They're not all great.
Yeah. I like the ones where they actually do film them where it's cold and it is actual snow as opposed to, I guess, fake snow and stuff. Snope.
Yeah.
I like that. I like, actually, it's so funny because I have them on at work and there's like 3 things that I look for now. Like when they're outside, if you can see their breath.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like, you can't, so it's not cold there.
I mean, they're filming these in summertime. Now, a lot of them are in Canada that they film them. A lot are in like Connecticut. Yeah. There are northern areas, and most of those are based on the architecture and the towns they're looking for. But you're right, they're in summertime. You don't always get that breath in real snow.
No. My second thing is usually they just kiss like one time and then it's done. So I see how many times, because sometimes it is just one time.
Okay. It's a lot of smooching.
There's sometimes I've counted 4 times.
Ooh, man.
And like my absolutely favorite is like Winter in Bale, because it's not actually Christmas, but it is winter. And there's no miscommunications. It's just a great movie. Now she does have to at one point go back home to see if her dream job is what she wants to do. But that's not a misunderstanding. That's if you pass this up. So she's doing it. She's sitting at her desk and like, nope, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
So it was just, and he wasn't mad that she was leaving. He understood. It was amazing.
That was Lacey Chabert and Tyler Hines in that one, correct?
Yes, good job.
Yeah, that's so sad I know that. I've got a long list of ones that I could easily go over that I love. For me, I like the you talk about the miscommunications, which are going to happen pretty much in every single Hallmark movie.
Unfortunately.
I like when it's a short miscommunication. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's resolved within a couple of minutes, not anything drawn out. And yeah, I think for me, it really a lot of times comes down to story, which are all usually similar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's usually big city girl with a high profile job, has to go home or visit a small town for some reason that is always decked out in Christmas. First of all, I want to find towns like this, and in the future we start like visiting them, because I just can't imagine that old school. I mean, talk about Disney, you know, Main Street USA, in a small town being decked out for Christmas. So I love those, and you know, it's same plot. They're gonna fall in love. You know it from the beginning. But it's still so enjoyable to watch it unfold. You know, she's going to fall off a ladder decorating a tree at some point. He's going to catch her. They're going to have an interrupted kiss. In fact, go out to Etsy and look up Hallmark Christmas movie bingo.
Yeah, that's
There are
fun.
bingo cards that we really enjoy. For a lot of times for me, it comes down to the actors and actresses, you know, the Andrew Walkers and the Tyler Hines and the, who else do we love? Paul Campbell. There's some that I probably don't know their names. Candace Cameron
Brian
Bure,
Green or Paul Green. I mean.
Paul Green, Lacey Chabert. There's so Ashley Williams is one of my all-time favorites.
Did you know?
I'll talk about her later.
Oh, okay. That's her sister.
Her sister was
sister?
Brad Paisley's wife.
Yep.
I had never known that.
Yep.
Even though she had a sister, she never told me. So,
but okay.
The thing that I love about the Hallmark movies is that they are mindless. As bad as it sounds, they're not something. Yeah, they're not something for the most part that you have to 100% focus on every second. You can have them on. They're enjoyable. They're fun. They make you feel good. They make you feel happy. They're going to end up in the end. New player to the game though is Lifetime.
Yes,
I've watched a couple
GAC
Lifetime.
Family.
I've not watched any of those.
Yeah,
the GAC that.
So I think this is the new stream. I don't know if you call it streaming or just channel that. From what I've understood, a lot of Hallmark people are moving over to this platform, and so I don't know if we'll not see him on Hallmark anymore, but
maybe we'll see those So
I watched. Well, not crossovers. No, you just have to go to GAC Family.
We got a Hallmark crossover though. The Andrew Walker starring movie that Tyler Hines showed up in the background for a brief second, and actually I think passed him, and then they were both filming in the same location, and they both cameoed on each other's movies, because then Andrew Walker showed up in Tyler Hines. And if you're not a Hallmark fan, honestly, go watch a couple. They're fun, but Lifetime is making some good ones. Yeah. I am actually coming around to Danica McKellar.
Really?
I've
always
never
liked
enjoyed her.
I always have.
Only because I thought that her character, Winnie Cooper, in The Wonder Years was just awful. She is very talented, and she played the character perfectly, but I thought the actual written character was just hard to stomach.
Okay.
Do you know that in most of her Hallmark movies, the actor, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, I think it's Steve Harvey, makes an appearance, who was Wayne Arnold, Kevin Arnold's older bully brother in The Wonder Years. He makes appearances in a ton of her Hallmark movies.
Oh, that's
All
cool.
right. Outside of Hallmark, and before we start talking some Disney, what are some of your favorite and we're going to call them Disney Plus, because we're talking now not only produced by Disney, but of course they own 20th Century Fox. We've got different things from there. Outside of what's available on Disney Plus, what are some of your favorite holiday movies to watch every season?
Well, Elf is one for sure. Christmas Vacation, always love that one. Christmas with the Cranks, just because of the one part. The movie is outstanding. It really is. And Tim Allen is just hysterical.
We're going to talk about him again. When I watch him in Christmas with the Cranks, and then the other movie we're obviously going to mention, I know he was a big star with Home Improvement.
Yep,
I don't know how he wasn't a movie star on the levels of, I feel like, a Tom Hanks. Now, again, Toy Story, very, very big. But I feel like as an actual live character in movies, he should have been in a million more things, because he's so good.
Yep.
Christmas with the Cranks I'd never seen until several years ago. We went to Boston for one of my best friend Josh's wedding. and we were just hanging out in the hotel room. It was cold,
Mhm.
and it started to snow a little bit.
It was
and
awesome.
We're like looking into Boston. We had a great hotel and all. And Christmas with the Cranks was coming on, and you're like, oh, I love this movie. And I'd never seen it. And it is outstanding.
Mhm.
Is Christmas Vacation possibly the best Christmas movie ever made? Or do you think something else will beat it out as we kind of go through here?
I think something will beat
ranking
it
them,
out,
but okay.
I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. And Rise of the Guardians is one I love to watch too. I forget to really watch it around the holiday season, but I feel like any holiday season you can watch it.
I do too,
Easter
because
Bunny.
it includes all those different characters. I think it's very underrated. I don't think a lot of people have that probably on their
I
list,
love it.
maybe. Why do you hate Ralphie in The Christmas Story? Have you ever actually seen A Christmas Story?
You made me watch it
from beginning to end. You have watched it from
Yes.
beginning to end,
and
you still didn't love it with all of your
No.
heart and joy
No.
the way that the rest of the entire world does.
I'm sorry, guys.
Correct?
Correct.
Wow. What was it?
I don't know.
It just didn't resonate for you.
No.
I watched it the other day because
Good for you.
you weren't around. You were at work, and I was like, "This is my only chance."
Well, doesn't on Christmas Eve, anyways. It plays
yeah, it plays
24
hours on
flippin' hours.
PBS. I think it is.
Thank God we don't have that. Just kidding.
I would love for people to comment who don't like A Christmas Story, because I feel like most people do,
Well, yeah.
except you.
Okay.
The Grinch,
Oh, yeah.
right? Both the Jim Carrey
Oh,
version
yeah.
and the more recently animated version
Lacey loves that
with
one.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yep.
She loves, and it's actually really good. That was one of those.
That's one I haven't sat down and watched from beginning to end either.
Yeah.
I need to.
You do. It's funny because in that one, it was one of those where the preview came out and you're like, why, man? Like, why are you guys making this? There's no
I
need
didn't
for
think
this.
that, but
I did. And then when I watched it, I was like, okay, this is actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of good, I think, twists and turns. It wasn't trying to follow, I think, the Jim Carrey version and what it set.
I love the Jim Carrey version. We usually watch that and
Yes.
put it on every Christmas Eve night.
Every single one. And
Mhm.
we need to do it again. And that's one of those where...
Early.
That's one of those that I think we quote a lot. Especially I'm going to die. First I'm going to
I'm gonna
throw up.
throw up,
And then I'm going to die. Like, we just quote that randomly through the year.
The Grinch?
I actually think I quote it most of the time when we were driving through the construction on I-4 heading to Disney, because it is a nightmare through there. And there's a lot of like bumps and weaving and like, it's almost like a racetrack. And I usually will quote that. One of, I will say, the most underrated Christmas movies of all time, featuring not only Ashley Williams, but one of my all-time favorites, Tom Cavanaugh, is the movie Snow.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
It's hard to find. We owned the DVD. I don't know that we still do.
Uh-oh.
I need to look at where maybe we can purchase it or rent it online. But basically, Tom Cavanaugh plays Santa's son.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, right?
Yep.
Which makes sense. Although he's Saint Nicholas. Nicholas is the first name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's like he's little Saint Nick, I guess. But the reindeer kind of goes through a portal down to, regular life and is captured by a zoo, and he goes down to try. This could have been a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't you think? Like,
yeah,
it
I think
fits
so.
that kind of bill.
Yeah.
Most recently, I would say, is a very brand new, it is a brand new Christmas movie this year, starring the one and only
Mm-hmm.
Neil Patrick Harris, is 8-Bit Christmas, which is available on Netflix, streaming now. What did you think of this? Because I don't believe you grew up on Nintendo, or did your brother? Like,
Yeah.
did you have a nostalgic throwback to this? Or
I don't feel like I remember that like I do like Game Boy basically.
Mm-hmm.
But and my brother wanted all that kind of stuff anyways. I didn't really care.
Yeah.
I mean, we may have had it. I really just don't remember. But my brother's a few years younger. But yeah, I mean, I understood it because I was born in that era and everything.
Yeah.
And I understood not being rich by all means. My parents, we grew up and we were just, sometimes my daddy would make it paycheck to paycheck. I know. And my parents did everything they could for us. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. I really did because of the story behind it too. It was super cool.
Yeah. It was really well crafted in a different way. It wasn't just a beginning to end. Here's a kid. Let's just throw back to a kid who's trying to get a Nintendo for Christmas and the hijinks and everything that occurs around it. It is a father, Neil Patrick Harris, telling the story to his daughter of that time period in the 80s and all, and Nintendo coming out and what a huge freaking deal this thing was.
Yep.
And it was so hard to get. And the way that they told it, I thought, was just really well. Like when he was just, I mean, he's just counting back to her and he's got the voiceover saying, yeah, we're riding our bike. And she's like, did you wear a helmet? And in the throwback video, he's not wearing a helmet. He's like, of course I was. And then a helmet pops on his head. And then she's like, was it green? And he's like, absolutely. And it turns green. Like it was a different storytelling.
It was cool.
I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's one that we'll watch every year. I don't know that it's a Christmas vacation style where if I walk out after we record and I turned on the TV and Christmas Vacation was on at any point in the movie, I'm sitting my butt down and I'm watching it until the end.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's got to be top 3, maybe top 2, and I'd like to discuss it maybe with top 1 a little bit later on. But any other maybe, I know there's a ton of other Christmas movies, stuff like Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, and
is actually really good.
Yeah, and I don't remember honestly anymore. Like, I mean, because we never watched the Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell one, and you know,
the Christmas Chronicle one. There's 2 of them now.
There's a lot not seen them yet. That I feel like we don't like watch, but at the same time, we've watched a whole slew of new Hallmark ones.
Listen, man, if Hallmark could stop putting out brand new Christmas movies every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for like 3 months straight, we would have time to watch other things.
Yeah,
because Hallmark is pretty much on 24/7.
I'm behind on some.
Yeah, I know. I literally just put them on all day while I work. And that's what I love about them. They're in the background.
I would too at work, but sometimes I have a bunch of clients and I'm like, I should probably pay attention to them.
That would probably be a good idea. Yeah, you start cutting their hair like Andrew Walker's or something, which I mean, I don't think is a bad thing. But all right, let's talk about some Disney Plus shows that are available.
Okay.
And I love that Disney is doing this now. You know, they did it for Halloween. We did an episode on our favorite Halloween movies on Disney Plus and all. They put together this holiday collection. It's very easy to click.
Yeah, I like that.
They break that down by originals, specials, movies, animated movies, shorts, shows.
Yep.
What are some of your or our family favorite Disney Plus available shows? And shows I'm thinking are usually going to run an hour or under. Something that probably aired originally on ABC. And now several of these, of course, are direct to Disney Plus. But what's some of those ones that we watch every single year?
Well, of course, Prep and Landing always reminds me of Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam.
I miss that.
I know, I do too. Really like those. There's 3 of those, correct?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fun to watch that. Jeremy likes and put on the other night the Decorating Disney, which is so neat and intriguing.
Those
like
specials,
to kind of watch and see how it's brought to life, basically.
And these are like the ABC. Now these are okay. So Prep and Landing, the first 2, which is Prep and Landing. Then we had Prep and Landing, Naughty vs. Nice. Those 2 were ABC specials. And then they came out with a third one. What was it? Operation Santa, Secret Santa. That's an 8-minute short. These holiday specials, like you just mentioned, Decorating Disney. We have the Disney Holiday Sing-Along from last year.
Oh, yeah, that was cute.
And you've got the Fairy Tale Weddings Holiday Magic. Again, these are all like hour-long ABC specials that it's so cool now that they bring these available the next day to Hulu because we don't have cable and we don't have local TV even.
Right.
So when they can air it and bring it the next day, I love the Disney Holiday Sing-Along. It's hosted by Ryan Seacrest in his living room in like an $800 Mickey sweater. And it's all these performers, you know, because this was still, December of 2020. Performers were still not gathering on stage and together due to the pandemic for these, you know,
That's
celebrations. Right. So they were all still recording like from their home.
Right.
And they're still able to get some of the biggest stars. And it's everything, you know, from almost like iPhone videos to full produced videos in like Michael Bublé's home with his wife and children. Down to Derek. I never pronounce their last name right. Huff. Is it really? Because it's got a GH on the end.
Yes.
It should have 2 Fs.
Okay, it's not.
Like
it's...
Hufflepuff.
Okay.
All right. So Derek Huff.
Yeah.
Always puts
Julianne
together.
Huff.
Yeah, but him and his wife, I think, always put together the most incredible dance numbers ever.
Yeah, they are really cool.
What else do you like? What did we just watch today that is horrifying at points?
It kind of is.
But ends happily.
It was cute, but it's Duck the Halls. Is this new?
Yeah, I believe this is from this year.
I just started saying, it looks like it because it's the Mickey shorts.
Yep.
The new ones though, where they kind of look sometimes a little funny,
a little bit.
But it's where Donald Duck, being a duck, has to migrate, and he can't stay in the cold winter with the mouses, and
Mises.
the dog. Goofy and Pluto, because Goofy is a dog, right?
Yeah, do we know that? I think he's a cow. He dates Clarabelle Cow.
Okay, we're gonna be in trouble. People are gonna yell at us.
I think it's a.
Anyways, so like I said, it's he has to fly and he doesn't want to, and just go watch it and tell us what you think.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to what people think.
There are some points in it that I think are somewhat horrifying, but it has a wonderful, happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very good. It's about 25, 26 minutes.
Yeah.
So again, it's that real like show. What would you say is the absolute greatest Disney Plus show, air quotes maybe, available right now? Who involves our favorite snowman?
Yeah, well, right now, all the time, right? Like year round.
Year round. Yeah. But I'm saying nothing else holiday wise takes this from number 1 probably for us, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is Olaf's Frozen Adventure. And I love when he's like, it's that time of year. And now if you get to Disney before the Festival of the Holidays end, and I don't know if you can get it on Disney Shop, but
Disney.
They have, it's that time of year, Olaf merchandise. It's
Spirit
amazing. Spirit jersey. Like they have a cup that I think we're going to be getting this coming weekend when we go. They have a ornament that we got, and it's just it's that stuff is so great, and it's just I love watching it. I watch it actually throughout the year
times. Yeah, we really do.
Around this time, it's my favorite.
I mean, you've got it's Olaf and Sven trying to save holiday traditions, and this really is kind of, it does expand a little bit, I feel like, on the holiday style,
Yeah, and it's really cool because they ring the Yule bell, and then that's when the holiday season starts, and Olaf is like, surprise, and they were going to invite everybody, but everybody's like, well, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, and how everybody leaves. He's like, oh, that's the surprise, everybody leaves. But then, Elsa and Anna look for their traditions. And unfortunately, with the way Elsa was, they didn't have any. And so then Olaf's like, we got to find traditions. And he goes and it's, golly, it's just so amazing. And then, the one constant thing was Olaf between Elsa and Anna. And then I love that the community does come together.
Yeah.
And
it's so good.
It is. It is. So good.
I mean, you've got kittens in sweaters, for one. Something else, if you are going to Disney during the holiday season, and I know that we're closing in on that, is the addition to the Frozen sing-along at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, I love that.
Which includes Olaf's Frozen Adventure. And I love this so much. And it's so funny because this is the one that had so much backlash for premiering before Coco. And
because it was a good
it's a good 20. It's like 20 some minutes, I think. So I kind of understood it because We're going to see No Way Home. We're recording Wednesday evening.
Mm-hmm.
This will come out Friday. We'll be on our way to Disney when this comes out, and Universal and all. Thursday night at 9:50 p.m. because Rhonda's got to work late. We are seeing No Way Home, and I'm already like, all right, 9:50. So the movie will start if we're lucky at 10:30. I feel like with the previews
And it is almost
and the trailers and the
what
commercials.
is it, 2.5 hour movie for sure, if not longer.
I think
it's a little bit longer. No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. Hit
I already
3?
looked it up.
Okay, good. You already looked it up.
But I think it's 2 hours and 7 minutes or something like that.
So I get if you add a 25-minute short to the front of a movie after all these trailers, that I think people were just upset. They're like, man, you're like holding us hostage just to see this thing. And a lot of people thought, well, the only reason you're putting this in front of Coco is because of the popularity of Frozen and Olaf. And, Disney was afraid nobody was going to go see Coco. And then I think it got dropped after like 2 or 3 weeks. They took it out.
Yeah.
Of course, now it's available here. I would have sat through it gladly prior to seeing Coco. By the time we went to see Coco, remember, it was not playing.
Yep.
So we did not see it until it came, I think, to a streaming service of some sorts.
Yep.
So highly, highly recommend.
Yes.
Movie. It is Disney Plus movie time. This is going to include Disney, 20th Century Fox movies. I don't technically have these on a countdown, but I do a little bit. Have you seen 'Twas the Night with Bryan Cranston?
I don't think so.
So
what is that?
I watched this recently. It is a kind of cult classic Disney original Christmas movie. Bryan Cranston is the black sheep brother.
Okay.
And this family, he basically is in a lot of trouble for swindling guys out of a ton of money.
Okay.
And he's on the run, so he goes back to his brother's house with his family for Christmas to kind of hide out. The older son loves his uncle. He thinks he's so cool and all. And basically, the mom and the dad have to go out, and Bryan Cranston's character is going to watch the kids. And Santa visits. Ultimately, they think he's like breaking in. They scare him. Santa goes to run, knocks himself out. It's a very Santa Claus-ish story. But with Bryan Cranston more so now visiting homes to give presents and steal things as well.
Oh my goodness.
It's actually really good. I mean, this is like that typical kind of Disney Channel original, or straight to streaming, straight to DVD style movie. And I actually really enjoyed it. It was the first time I had watched it.
Oh, wow.
And I know it's somewhat of a classic. I will say, for purpose of not making this episode 8 hours long, we're going to try and really focus in on some of our favorites, because there is a lot out there that's really, really good.
Yeah.
Let's talk. You've seen 12 Dates of Christmas, correct? With Amy Smart and Mark Paul.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a long time, though.
So she
didn't they have that kind of like a Hallmark one, and the Hallmark was way better.
They did. Very similar. No, I don't know. This is very Hallmark.
Tyler was.
Well, come on. Mark Paul Gosselaar, though, is one of my favorites ever.
Okay.
You know what I will say is the most underrated movie ever made. Do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
With Mark Paul Gosselaar? I saw it 4 times in the theater. It is the most I've ever seen a movie in a movie theater. That beats out Endgame, Infinity War. Let's see, what else? Far From Home.
Dead Man on Campus?
Yes.
That's right. No.
Dead Man on Campus is one of my favorite movies
You're so
ever.
silly.
And he's outstanding. So Amy Smart's character goes on a blind date. It does not go well. She then it's like she's in a department store and slips and hits her head.
Oh.
And she then relives the same day, kind of Groundhog Day-ish, same day and blind date for basically 12 days until her and Mark Paul's character finally, which were meant to be, come together. Spoiler alert.
Huh.
And it's really, really good. Side tangent, real quick.
Okay.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I mean, it's been so long since I've watched it.
It takes place at a company Christmas party.
Oh, that's right.
Does that make it a Christmas movie?
Well, I mean, that's like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
It's a Halloween movie.
It's not on our list.
I know.
I agree.
But I'm just saying, when people say Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I mean, it does take place So, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember. Like, it's been so long.
For me, and y'all can send hate mail or social, I don't think it is. I don't think taking place during Christmas makes something a Christmas movie as opposed to the movie being about Christmas.
Okay, so
Same
you don't
thing
think
with
Hawkeye?
Gremlins. But Hawkeye, that's a
Ooh.
fine line.
Ooh.
And it didn't come up on our shows because it does take place during Christmas. And I feel that the end game, we won't say anymore, obviously, for anybody that's behind, but the end game is to be home for Christmas.
Well,
but
what?
No, I don't know that I would. It's in the holiday collection, though.
Yeah.
It is in the holiday collection on Disney Plus is Hawkeye.
Ooh.
Gremlins. Gremlins takes place during Christmas.
Okay.
Is it a Christmas movie? Is the sole purpose of the movie to celebrate holiday or Christmas cheer? Maybe we say that. Is it to focus on the actual holiday or Christmas day? If that is the focus, then I would say Hawkeye is not, Die Hard is not, Gremlins is not. Nightmare Before Christmas could still definitely classify.
Okay.
Because it takes place on Christmas Eve at a point.
Right.
So, tangent aside.
Okay.
How do you feel about Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I don't even remember when I walked in last night. You were watching it.
I was watching it.
I walked in from work. He's watching it. I see it on the TV, and I am assuming I watched it with you.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
though.
I don't remember. Like, I don't remember any of it. When I saw some of it. Like, you were like, let me just finish this. I thought Lacey was watching it with you. And then...
No, that was all me. Listen, I was doing research in preparation for this episode.
Well, I'm very proud of you.
And you,
I was working.
my love, were working very late as always.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. And I'm sorry we couldn't fit it in together. It's a good movie. It is a classic movie.
You hesitated there. Uh-huh.
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is the weirdest casting ever. The only reason they cast him is so that in the end he could show up as Turbo Man, basically.
Okay.
Because with his big muscles and all. Other than that, it was a weird casting. Had some big names in it I totally forgot about, like Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks' wife.
Yeah.
Plays his wife. Of course, Sinbad is kind of the guy that he's battling to get this Turbo Man. Sinbad is outstanding in it.
Oh, wow.
I forgot how much I love Sinbad. Let's see. Who else do we got in there? Oh, gosh. Phil Hartman plays the creepiest, most perverted neighbor ever. And I got to say, his character is completely off-putting.
Oh, wow.
As he tries to take advantage of Rita Wilson's character.
Oh, my goodness.
While her husband is out running around trying to get this toy. Jim Belushi is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the overall movie is wonderful. I'm just not believing Arnold Schwarzenegger as your run-of-the-mill dad trying to get his kid this toy on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But one thing that it brings to me is the nostalgia, and we've been through this, of trying to get that, maybe perfect toy.
Oh, yeah.
That is
100%.
the hot ticket. Whether it was a Furby or it was, Bruni that one year.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, my dad has story. I'll just put it out there and everybody can make fun of me later. 1984.
Oh, Jeremy.
The hot ticket was Cabbage Patch Kids.
They're not Cabbage Patch dolls?
They were. Well, they're Cabbage Patch Kids, but they're not dolls. They're not dolls. They are. I
think they're Cabbage Patch dolls.
No, they are action heroes. My dad has stories of obtaining Cabbage Patch Kids for my brother and I for Christmas in 1984. And I'm not saying there's video evidence of us opening them on Christmas Eve, but there's video evidence of us opening on Christmas Eve, and it is one of the most hilarious things in the entire world. And
you're very excited.
Alan's.
You were only 5 years old.
Throwing him under the bus. My brother's was named Curtis, and mine was Reggie. Which is also the name of my uncle.
Yep.
And we got clothes. I don't know what we did with these things. I don't know if I like.
Did you play with it like a baby doll? And you're
I don't know. I was 5. I was 5. But he has stories.
Did you feed it? And burp it. And
Well, they didn't do all the stuff that dolls do now, like that actually
I
pee and poo and burp.
I
and
understand
stuff. Like,
that, but still, did you play with it like a baby doll?
that's what they should have given us when in middle school I had the flower baby. Remember the flower babies?
No,
They should have given us. I told you the story. On this
Yes,
show
you
about
did.
flower babies.
Yes, you
They should
did.
have given us Cabbage Patch Kids.
Mhm.
I think.
Baby Alive dolls, actually.
Yeah, that would have been good. I think. And remind me, I'll text my parents. I believe they may still own them. They may
Are
still
you
have
serious?
Curtis and Reggie. You've met my parents, right?
Oh,
You met
yeah.
my dad.
That's true.
He's not getting rid of something like that. So,
Oh my goodness.
bowl cut and all, Cabbage Patch Kid.
Cabbage Patch.
So I get that part of this movie, and almost not knowing, like, hey, this is a hot ticket item. I can't just go to the store and get it right now.
Right.
No, you cannot.
Right.
Let's talk Noelle. What are your thoughts on Noelle? Which is probably
That was
you know
cute.
a
little sad
newest.
and cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What did you think overall from first time we watched? Which I don't think we loved it the first time, and I think it's grown on us, right?
Yeah. I really liked it because I love Anna Kendrick. So,
Me too.
oh my goodness. But yeah, she's like but she's the girl. She's Santa's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, she isn't supposedly allowed to be Santa, but she is smart and has all the Santa properties. So yeah, I really, really love the story. Because her brother that has to be Santa, he's like, I'm not doing it.
Yep.
And he goes away to Mexico somewhere.
Yeah, Arizona, I think it was.
Somewhere. And it's hot there and it's funny. And it's a cute, funny movie where then she has to go find him and get him. And then, yeah.
Bill Hader's outstanding. He's hilarious.
Yep.
Anna Kendrick, I love.
Anna or Anna?
Anna.
I don't know.
I think I've called her Anna Kendrick. Yeah, I absolutely adore her. Since I think it started with Pitch Perfect, which Pitch Perfect is one of my favorite trilogies franchises ever, which is shocking. Which she's so good in it. Billy Eichner as like the tech cousin. It's a really good, fresh take on what I believe is a classic story, which has always been Santa passes the reins on to his son.
Yep.
And this takes a very different turn.
Yep.
And I think Yogurt Pants is one of my favorite scenes ever.
Yeah.
He's like, I like your yoga pants. He's like, yogurt pants? Like, yeah, yoga pants? She's like, I love my yogurt pants. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it really has grown on me. The first time we watched it, I was like, that's okay. And as we watched it more, it really, really has grown on me. Definitely think it's a classic. What we have some sets of movies coming up. What is the next one? And you brought this up, and I think any way it's told is usually enjoyable.
I love it a lot. A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
I love the Jim Carrey one. Even the Mickey one's just adorable.
Oh, so good.
I love the story of the Christmas Carol where you have mean old Mr. Grinch not Grinch, but Mr. Scrooge. Yeah. Sorry, he is the Grinch of Christmas. And he's a rich old man and he gets his partner dies and he gets visited by his past, present, and future. And all this is supposedly, I guess, in a dream as well to him. And then at the end, he realizes that, it is not worth it and completely changes. And it's a classic, awesome story of being told like that.
What I love about it, Jim Carrey version, Mickey's.
Yeah.
I know you didn't bring it up because you're not as huge of a fan, and Adam, you can go ahead and knock her for that because I know he's thinking right now the Muppets version is outstanding.
Okay.
It is a story.
I'll take Jim Carrey. You watch the Muppets.
I'll take the Jim Carrey one top.
Yeah.
Robert Zemeckis, that motion capture stuff, it's so done in such a good way.
It's really good.
It's what I love about it is, okay, let's go across just these three platforms, and this has been made 1,000 times. Jim Carrey version.
Oh yeah.
The Robert Zemeckis.
I'm sure there's more.
Mickey. Oh yeah, the Mickeys, and then the Muppets. everyone has the same main plot points, but that they hit, but they're able to tell the story in such a different way throughout. Like, man, you get to the future one of Jim Carrey's. Well, most of them, they're dark.
Oh yeah.
Like falling
so
into his
cool.
grave and like dirt being thrown on top of Scrooge, basically,
Yeah.
as he's dead. It's like, yeeks.
Yeah.
If you don't at least have a little bit of a tear in the end when Scrooge comes to visit the home and has kind of like, usually it's pretty the same, has the bag behind his back with the presents, and he's mean and nasty, and then he finally smiles and hands a present to Tiny Tim. Come on.
I know.
Like, that's just,
yeah.
if that doesn't make you love these movies and love the holidays and all, then I don't know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
So what is our next set of movies, which will not include all 1,000 that have been made of this series? I feel like, I think there's 6 of them now.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. There's only 3 that I think we will agree on are worth watching. This is a newly acquired Disney property.
This is Home Alone.
Yeah.
And you got Home Alone, Home Alone 2, and Home Sweet Home
The
Alone.
newest one.
Oh, that's the newest one?
Yeah, because
okay.
we're taking out Home Alone 3. I think there's 2 others
4,
or
5, and
something.
6.
Yeah, I think there's a couple other in
Seriously?
between.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. I mean, once Macaulay Culkin left the franchise after Home Alone 2, it's not worth it to me. And honestly, how many times Home Alone 2 was actually really good, but how did you leave your kid home alone a second time? Like, I know they explain it in the movie, but come on. You being serious right now?
Well, okay. So there are more, but like Macaulay Culkin's not in them.
No, he was in 1 and 2. Correct.
1 and 2, and then 3 was, and then I don't know.
I mean, Home Alone 1 is an absolute classic.
Yes.
And then Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, I think actually fits the bill, even though it follows a very similar story. I think it's done very well. Anything in between I didn't love. What did you think of Home Sweet Home Alone? Which is one of those, I believe, the preview came out and people, from what I could tell on social media, you thought they wanted to go burn down the Disney headquarters. They were so angry. Why would you remake this? Why would you whatever? What were your thoughts on the movie? Because
okay, well, first of all,
right?
I didn't see any commercials. I had no idea.
You never saw a trailer?
Never saw a trailer.
Okay.
Had no idea, first of all, it was a movie. I think I thought because it was on Disney Plus, it was going to be
like a short,
like a series.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, didn't know. Then, again, not seeing anything. When we started watching, the whole Home Alone family, the giant family, was all, oh my gosh. The accent has left my brain what they
British.
are. Thank you.
British. Well, not all of them. The main character and the son were. Everybody else, they just moved from London to the States, basically.
Well, we were also cooking, so this was a little hard.
Yes.
We were back and forth cooking and entertaining, but I thought at first, so if I'm not going to try to give anything away, I guess if y'all haven't seen it, but if you have seen the commercials and people are mad, I feel like I can help people not be mad because I never saw it. And literally, like, I was starting out where this guy's poor or gonna lose his house. They have to sell the house. They don't want to tell the kids. They have to sell the house because they don't have money. Well, they find this doll that could be worth like hundreds,
$200,000.
Yeah, seriously, hundreds of thousands of dollars that could help save the house. And they think this boy took it because he kind of was making fun of him and stuff. And so he goes over to just basically ask for it back and kind of finds out they're leaving and needs this doll soon. So finds out there's the key. Here's the, alarm system code. And then it's him and his wife. And then they start trying to get this doll back. And they're just being like not torn to pieces, but just where I was like, well, this is sad.
It's
They're
such
just
a good
trying
switch
to.
on a story, I think.
Yeah, and
You know,
to not give anything away, just
you just
continue
gave
watch.
a lot away in
Oh.
some ways, because I was unaware of any. The previews don't tell you any of that.
Oh, why were people
so-
mad? I could see why people were
Because
mad.
people are tired of them, air quote, remaking stuff. You know, and here's the thing, and I've said it first of all, this is not a remake in the traditional sense. This is a continuation of a timeline that includes horrible parents who leave their kids at home, let's just say, because it actually ties into the original McAllister
Yes, it does. It
family
was
at
very
points.
funny.
So I have said this before, even remakes for me, what I believe they are doing is bringing story. I don't think Hollywood is out of ideas. Number one, they know what was a hit originally and they know it can be a hit again.
Yeah.
Why would they not say, let's take a story that is tried and true and made a lot of money 20 years ago and let's make a lot of money again? I'm not saying that's right, but that's what's happening.
Right.
I also look at things that I'll use a quick example. I don't know why it's the first one that pops in my head. I loved RoboCop growing up in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in theory, it's a movie that Kaylin would enjoy. But if she watches the original RoboCop, she's going to be like, the CGI is awful. The sequences are awful. It has a nostalgia for me. So when they remade RoboCop, which I did not watch because I heard it wasn't good, but I'm just saying.
I started to say.
They're
Did you
not
even watch
remaking it for you and I who watched the original one.
Right.
They're remaking it for a new generation
Right.
that they want to tell this story to, is
Right.
my thought.
Yeah.
Let's look at the
I'll
live
agree with
action remakes that Disney's doing from the animated.
Oh.
We've talked about these before. They're
I love
expanding on
them.
story. They're doing things they couldn't do 20 years ago when those movies originally came out and were animated.
Correct.
Based on technology, CGI. They're bringing things to a new generation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, kids probably of this day and age have seen the original Home Alone, and it holds up very, very well.
Yeah.
I don't watch the original Home Alone and I don't watch Home Sweet Home Alone and go, wow, what a vast difference in what the movie looks like.
Right.
But they are telling a slightly new story. They're taking a really good twist on it. The writing is really, really good. And Ellie Kemper, I think I have that right, is outstanding. And I don't know who the guy is, but he's wonderful as well. The kid did a good job, I think. He was a little awkward, but that was what he was supposed to play.
Yeah.
And it has a ton of Easter eggs. It has a ton of throwbacks. And again, there are little moments that I think are hilarious. I put it on again the next day while I was working. Yeah, because I wanted to catch stuff because I was cooking a lot.
Right.
And I was back and forth while we had it on. Like there's a moment, I don't know why this writing is so amazing to me. And again, I guess spoiler alert, but they're coming back to the house to try and get this doll back. And of course the kid sprays down the driveway, turns into ice. We've seen this before. And they're walking up the driveway and just first of all, them slipping and all is hilarious. But the kid goes in the garage and he starts flipping the outside lights, the like motion sensor lights on and off.
Okay.
And of course it's causing them all these weird things and they're falling over and they're slipping, all this and that. And at the end, as he's done doing it, Ellie Kemper delivers this line that says, I don't know why I think this is the funniest line in the whole movie. She says, how many lumens is that? Like that's the brightness of the light. And it's just such a perfectly delivered line. And it's such smart writing that didn't have to be in there.
Right.
And there's a moment she ends up getting tangled up in the lights.
Yeah.
And he's trying to unroll her and she's rolling the wrong way and getting more tangled up. So they put in these little things that I actually think was done really, really well.
Yeah.
And the throwbacks to the McAllister family are outstanding.
Yeah.
So I actually will highly recommend it. If you do not like it, I cannot offer you anything in return. I just will apologize for wasting your time, which is only an hour and 30 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get into closing this out,
Yes.
which might be the best Christmas movie of all time. I would battle it with Christmas Vacation. Let's start. Well, it's another franchise. What are we talking about?
The Santa Claus.
Yeah.
If anybody is like, you better say this. We
Yeah.
said it. Santa Claus.
We said it.
I mean, you've got Tim Allen, which is absolutely amazing, outstanding, funny, hilarious,
he is so perfect in this role.
sweet,
Yep.
kind, like loving, all of everything. Like you name it, that he's it. This was a perfect role for him, I think.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it because he's not a bah humbug, but he's a single dad now that, you know, he's making money and businessman, and he becomes Santa. And, you know, he's got a young kid, Charlie, and it's just, I love the whole, it's also believing.
Yeah.
And I love the part where believing isn't seen. Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seen.
Yeah.
And like every time. I mean, and I know we didn't mention with when we were talking.
Judy, right? That was the elf?
Yeah.
That's the hot chocolate elf? Judy?
Yeah, but back real quick, that like going back to nostalgia, and we forgot to mention when we were not talking about Disney Plus and Disney movies, but the Polar Express is one of my
wonderful one.
favorite one.
Totally forgot that.
And the whole bell, and you know, and that to me is such a great Christmas because, you know, like just the whole believing in Santa, and I love that.
Yeah.
Because I do, and I still hear the bell.
Oh yeah.
From the Polar Express, and it's just, and Santa Claus is just, I mean, it's such a great movie where you've got, you know, he becomes Santa, and I love the parts too where through the years he's putting on weight, and then his hair's turning. He's like, I shave in the morning and afternoon, I look like this. And I mean, there's just so many, like, and I feel like you could quote him in all the movies, you know. And then I love that in the movies that they stopped it at 3, and they still had every single person.
That I was going to mention that is
I love
unbelievable.
That.
Every single
love
character
Yep.
was still there.
Yep. Even Charlie.
Yep. Judge Reinhold as Neil is one of my. He is so good.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I just these movies, and you know, it is hard to keep up a franchise like that. And you can say what you want about Santa Claus 3. I don't know that it was necessary, except that it finished the story.
It did. I think I really liked it because, you know, and it's so funny because I think I get a lot of backlash where Jeremy doesn't, and I'm like, every time I put it on, I'm like, I really like this movie. I think it's because in this one, he's really starting to, like, I mean, it's still a job. Just like, you know, we're going to go to Disney this weekend and everybody's like, oh, you get to go to Disney. Well, sometimes it's still a job, and a job we love dearly, but can get, and he just was getting overwhelmed and was like, well, kind of wish I never became Santa.
Yeah.
And you say things sometimes in a moment where you don't really, but then the coolest part to me is, could you imagine what if he wasn't, and then what if this bad guy was? And it's like, oh, well, that's what happens, that's not good. And that's where I love it. I personally love it. I think it's, all of them are great. I do obviously love the very first one the most. I think that's just because of just, they probably could have released one, period. I really like how they, he had to have his claws.
Got married?
I love that.
And the public's, oh no.
Yeah, that was super cute.
So good. So good.
No,
I feel like that's another one that we like, we quote a lot. His part about field dressed a cat is my favorite. Even, you know, I mean, him messing up the Christmas dinner with Charlie, and, you know, having to go to like IHOP, you know, and there's the other dad that's got his hand burnt, and he's like, and roast such a clatter. Like, is a wonder. There's so much good. The only, out of all 3 movies, all I want is for them to get rid of the part at the end of the first Santa Claus where they do that weird little dance move while they're walking down the hall for absolutely zero reason at all. I don't understand why that exists. And I think Santa Claus 3 has grown on me more. I've said it before, I was not always a big fan of Martin Short, who plays Jack Frost.
Well, you don't have to like him because he's the bad guy anyways.
Know, but until I heard him on Smartless, the podcast with Jason Bateman and Will Arnett and Sean Hayes, he is a lovely man, and I take back anything negative I ever said about him, which usually relates to the show he used to do in the Canada 360 show.
Yeah.
But I just was never a big fan. I did enjoy him on Arrested Development, but still, I think I have a newfound love for him after listening to that episode, and I think this is such a perfect franchise trilogy. Like you said, the fact that everybody is back, like Charlie, and I don't know the actor's name offhand, but the fact that he's back for all 3 movies over this course of time and actually watch him grow up, is
that was cool.
It's amazing.
And then they could have stopped it too.
They could have, but this rounded out the story. Saying,
it really did.
Here we are now, because you kind of wanted to see that continuation of them getting married at the end of 2 and going, all right, they're now going to have their own child together.
Yeah. Super cool.
And is Charlie going to take over? I would not be opposed if all the same people are back and all.
And
if we
4?
see a 4 that either Charlie or the new
over.
son.
It was a son?
I believe so. Takes over.
Now we need to watch Santa Claus 3
I know
again.
we do. I love that franchise. I think holiday movies, again, I was just kind of thinking, I know we talked about it earlier. For me, I want to laugh. I want to possibly cry. And I just want to have that feeling.
Yeah.
There's a feeling you get when you watch a really, really good holiday or Christmas movie.
Of course.
And I do love when they're quotable, because I can't tell you how many times a year that if Rhonda and I are talking to each other and we ask each other a question that we don't know.
I don't know, Margot.
Every time. Doesn't matter what time of year.
Yep.
You could simply just be like, I don't know, Jeremy, what time is Publix open till? I don't know, Margot.
Yep.
Or I could ask you, like, hey, what are we doing today? I don't know, Margot. Like, that is our go-to all year long.
And then my favorite too is Grace. Oh, she died 30 years ago. No, blessing. They want you to say Grace, the blessing. Oh, okay. That always makes me laugh. I love it.
So number one, Christmas Vacation or the Santa Claus? Is it between those two for you? And which would you pick?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'd say the Santa Claus for more of a family, more of a, but quotable, like what we quote throughout the year, where, like, Eddie, are you surprised? I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet. I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and then, she wrapped up her damn cat. And
we definitely quote Christmas Vacation year round all the time.
We'll have a cat running around. I mean, they're
different. You're right.
It is different. It is not something, that I would love to sit down with my family, like even the girls, and watch, because it does feel good, but it's not a Santa Claus feel good type of movie. It's not I'm not going to cry at Christmas Vacation by any means.
Yeah.
I mean, true. I'm happy at the end, and I'm like, but I'm not going to cry. Santa Claus, I might cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I would say Santa Claus because you will laugh, you could cry.
And you just get that feeling.
That great feeling. Yeah. So
all right. Okay.
That's what I'm going to say. What are you going to say?
I would probably only go with Christmas Vacation, just because I can laugh from beginning to end almost nonstop.
Right.
I think, like, if we walk out of the studio right now and one of those two movies was on, I will watch it till the end, regardless of which one.
Now, see what's funny about that?
If I could pick, I'd take Christmas Vacation.
Well, and I just started to say, you said you'd sit your butt down and watch the rest of the movie. I could do things while listening and watching the movie, but if Santa Claus was on, I'd sit my butt down.
You'd, like, legit sit
and I'd
pay
watch
attention?
and pay attention.
That's fair. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, we would love, as always, to hear your guys' thoughts, not only on who wins Christmas Vacation or the Santa Claus, but your other favorite Christmas movies. And I know there are so many wonderful ones out there we just didn't get a chance to talk about, both Disney, 20th Century Fox, and non.
Yeah.
So as we post this on social media, as you check out the Main Street Magic community on Facebook, let us know your thoughts on this episode, our picks, and what your picks would be. As long as you are out there, you might as well subscribe. You get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. We've got a lot of great content coming up to round out the year, including our trip this weekend to not only Disney, but Universal as well. We'll have some new dining reviews, holiday reviews, things like that.
And
to
Wonderland
get you
Crew.
right up to Christmas. WonderlandCrew.com. Thank you, Rhonda. If you go there, you can go ahead and join for just $7 a month, or you save 15% if you sign up for the whole year, and you get access to that private Facebook group with all of the live streams, which are then available the following week at Patreon. So you can check out WonderlandCrew.com. As long as you're out there on the internet, you might as well shoot on over to your favorite podcasting platform, and we would absolutely love if you leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.